It's just gone lunchtime. This is the third and final hour of All Angles here on eNCA. Good afternoon. I'm Masakho Rahlaga. So it is that time of the day when we give you an update on how far many of the stories we've been following for you throughout the course of the day have advanced. Here's a lunchtime update. Right, we've got a team of our senior reporters who are on the ground tracking developments and some of our leading stories. In today's lunchtime edition, we have Slindelo Masigane in Midrand and Johannesburg and Aviwe Mtila in Cape Town. Let's start with you, Slee. You're, of course, at the Gallagher Estate where they're discussing our Constitution. It's the Constitution Conference. And the President earlier gave the keynote address. What are some of the takeouts?
So this is the first inaugural Constitution Conference, and essentially what delegates are going to be doing here over the next 3 days is robust dialogue, debate around how effective the Constitution has been over the past 25 years and whether it is actually doing what it was enshrined to do back in 1996. Now, of course, we know the socio-economic conditions that South Africans are living under. We know the high levels of crime and corruption, and what we're going to be seeing over the next couple of days is these delegates who make up of academics, the legal fraternity, young people, business, civil society, as well as government officials and statutory bodies coming together to see whether they can come up with some sort of resolutions, plans, proposals that can be put in place to better make this living document actually improve the lives of South Africans. And during his keynote address, President Cyril Ramaphosa was saying that, he wants this conference to really look into some aspects within, let's say, the judiciary, the executive, in terms of how do we transform these particular arms of the state in order to, better put into effect this particular document, especially when it comes to issues around land as well as transformation. So far we've had at least one panel comprising of former Public Protector Thuli Madonsela, also looking into that very question of whether the Constitution has actually done what it had been envisioned to do. And overall, so far, the sentiment is that while it's a great document on paper, where it lacks is in terms of implementation. But let's just take a listen to the keynote address from President Cyril Ramaphosa earlier this morning.
We live in a society in which there are great disparities in wealth. Millions of people are living in deplorable conditions and in great poverty. There is a high level of unemployment, inadequate social security, and many do not have access to clean water or adequate health services. These conditions already existed when the Constitution was adopted, and a commitment to address them and to transform our society into one in which there will be human dignity, freedom, equality, lies at the heart of our new constitutional order. For as long as these conditions continue to exist, the court continued, that aspiration will have a hollow ring.
And of course, Aviwe, you are in Cape Town, where in Parliament there's going to be that debate around a motion of no confidence vote against Speaker Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula. Perhaps just bring us, or rather remind us how she finds herself where she is today and some of the reasons behind this motion tabled by the EFF.
Well, it's that very scuffle that we saw back on the 9th of February at the State of the Nation address. That turned out to be a bit delayed because, of course, the EFF jumping onto the stage. We saw the security services then pounce into the stage as well, removing the members of Parliament of the EFF from that stage. It's that very scene that actually has us back at the City Hall in Cape Town. That's the temporary home of Parliament, of course, where we're expecting at 3 p.m. then members of Parliament to debate the motion of no confidence against the Speaker, Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula. It's her first motion of no confidence, as the EFF, of course, felt that that very chaotic scene was as very impartial and unfair towards the economic freedom fighters. But of course, you'd hear from the Speaker that, in fact, rules or no rules, she was mandated to do that, given that that was a security threat to the president as the EFF jumped onto the stage, and she had to act in that moment. So, of course, we're expecting the members of Parliament here to then debate the motion itself at 3 p.m. The EFF suggesting that that motion should be done as in a secret ballot, and that, of course, the Speaker suggesting that it will be the Deputy Speaker that gets to take that decision. The last time, in fact, we saw a motion against the Speaker was back in 2014. That motion brought up by 5 political parties against the then Speaker Balagambete. But the stage is set already here. A lot of security on the ground, police, and you can see the fences just outside the City Hall, suggesting that already security is in place, expecting that motion to take place at 3 p.m.
All right, and of course, our viewer will be taking viewers to that debate live here on eNCA. That was your eNCA lunchtime update with senior reporters Slindelo Masigane and Aviwe Mtila.